Alright, so over here tonight with my sister and her 2002 Ducati Monster 620 Dart. Gonna pull the tires off, or actually gonna pull the wheels off tonight. We're gonna get new tires put on, and we got some other stuff we want to do to this bike too. Alright, so first thing we want to do, loosen up these Allens here on the brake caliper, get the brake caliper removed, and then we'll take care of the axle.
I like that.
Tight situations helps out.
Yeah.
So what you want to do when you pull this off here, make sure you don't hit your rim, because you don't want to stretch it up. Alright, so with the nut loosened up, next thing we want to do is back off the pinch bolt, and then we'll be able to slide the axle bolt, or axle, on through. Back here on the back, first thing we're going to do is take the brake caliper off the rear wheel, and then we'll get to the axle. Happy birthday! Alright, so we got some brand new Bridgestone BT23s on my sister's Ducati. Went over to my uncle's place, changed them out this morning. He does not like being on camera. Also cleaned up this sprocket, cleaned up all the little bearings and stuff on it. Got to clean up this wheel, and then we're going to get these things put back on. But before we do any of that, my sister's got the grunge brush and some degreaser, because when you neglect your chain for a really long time, it gets nasty and dirty and needs to be cleaned. So basically over the course of the next few videos, this isn't going to be just a direct how-to guide, but we're trying to bring her 02 Monster kind of back up to where it should be. It's been sitting in the garage a lot, hasn't been ridden a whole lot, so we're going to go over, check all the fluids, brake pads, obviously new tires, those sorts of things. And then I think we got something kind of cool scheduled for kind of like the wrap-up video to this Monster project. Go ahead and put the wheels back on this bike so I can kind of wheel it out of the way, because I got some work to do to the KTM here shortly. So let's get the front one back on first. Now before we go to actually put the wheel back on, you want to check your front brake pads. These look pretty good, so we're just going to leave them alone. Before putting the axle back on, we're going to put a little grease on here. Alright, so everything is just snugged up right now. We're going to go ahead and lock this down. We're going to lock the nut down, then we're going to lock the pinch bolts down. Just a quick reminder, at least on this Monster 620, there is a wheel spacer that goes in right here. Looks like the caliper bolts are 35 to 38 newton meters. You can see everything else on there. I'm not even going to bother to convert that. Alright, so we're back here on the rear wheel. We took the time to clean up the chain. You can kind of see how this goes. You get the axle running through this brake holder here. So I'm going to have to slip the disc brake up in between the brake pads here, and then get the chain over top of the sprocket, get everything lined up, and try to do it all by myself. I'll just keep the camera rolling so you guys can kind of laugh at how difficult this is. Alright, so now we got the rear axle through. Now I do need to tighten up the caliper bolts on there. And then I really need to set this thing down on the ground so we can set the right slack, tension on the chain, what have you, before we start tightening everything back up. Alright, so hopefully you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, I look forward to you being one. If you have any additional questions, let me know in the comments section below. Check out her channel, which is, I'm just going to link it in the description below. And as always, I'll talk to you again soon.